Sir, you should rest. I leave you alone now.
I've been drugged. I swore to stand up.
There you go, sir. Do you need anything else? Is everything alright? You don't look too well.
Please, you have to help me. Be careful with your...
Boss, are you hurt?
Yeah, not my blood.
Who's then?
She left before I woke up. I got her employee number. She deserved a tip. Send her $10,000.
Chloe, you covered for me, right? The hotel you sent me a 10 grand tip. How did you manage to do this?
Last night I had to deal with this drunk customer. I guess 10 grand is pocket change for the rich.
Wow, this is amazing. This money is for your wedding fund.
Miss Hartman, your degree is impressive, but you don't have any work experience. We've chosen someone else for the secretary role. Sorry.
What is he doing here?
Careful, boss. You almost stepped on a resume.
Do I know you?
No, I don't think so.
Mr. West, this is Ruby Ross, our top candidate for the secretary position.
Today, Miss Hartman interviewed today.
Yes, sir. Her name is Chloe Hartman, college grad, no experience.
Let me see her resume.
Ruby is more qualified.
Hire Chloe.
Hello?
Chloe Hartman, congratulations. Mr. West wants to extend an offer for the secretary position.
Oh, he must have recognized me. Won't this be weird?
You've really lucked out. You were chosen out of many qualified applicants. Can you start Monday?
No. There's no way he remembers that night. He's too busy. I should take the job so Mom can retire. Yeah, I can definitely start on Monday. Thank you.
Eric, look into that woman that worked at the Golden City Hotel 2 weeks ago. Thinking about that being Chloe Hartman.
I already did when you had me send the payments. The ID you gave me belonged to a woman in her 40s, not Chloe.
Could I be mistaken? That night. The woman was younger. Good morning.
Mr. West, good morning.
Chloe, I've been able to work in a hotel.
No, I didn't.
2 weeks ago. The Golden City Hotel.
Ethan, I bought you breakfast. What's going on?
She's my new secretary.
And you're just standing there? Clean up this mess. Ethan, I saw this cute dress yesterday, but I'm not sure if I should get it. Will you wanna come with me to try it on?
If you like it, just buy it.
Oh, Ethan, you spoil me. Maybe you should spend the night at my place? Or should I come over to yours?
I'm sorry, Mr. West. Please forgive me.
Don't you dare to judge me. You may think you're pretty, but you will never replace me. I'm the one Ethan loves.
I should go back to work.
Careful, dear. You wouldn't want to make a bad impression.
If there's nothing else, just take out the trash and leave.
Come with me to a crucial lunch meeting.
Shouldn't you be going shopping with your girlfriend?
So what?
No, I don't want to risk upsetting her.
We'll have her go with Eric. It's complicated. Let's just say it's for appearances.
He's so ruthless.
Mr. West, your new secretary looks young. Can she hang with the boys? Cheers, Chloe.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Excuse me. Mr. West, I think I drank too much. I feel sick.
If you don't want to join us for a drink, just be honest. Were you at the hotel that night? Chloe. Chloe, you okay? Chloe. You're wasted.
It's the room from last time. Why did you bring me here? What are you trying to do to me?
Do you even know? You're the one who always provokes me. Just want to make you feel good.
Feel good? How?
Like this. Chloe, don't ever pretend you don't know me. This time, I leave so many marks on you that you can't deny it.
Wait, I haven't had my period in over a month, and I've been nauseous all day. Could I be pregnant? I'm pregnant. How is that possible?
Chloe? You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You smell like alcohol. Were you drinking at work?
I didn't drink much. Don't worry, Mom. And my boss is very understanding. He even let me leave a little early today.
Please take a shower. Dinner's on the table. I'm working the night shift.
See you later. Twins? Twins! I can't afford twins! Plus, my doctor warned me that terminating the pregnancy will affect my fertility. What do I do?
Okay. How was the appointment with the doctor?
I'm fine.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Show me the results. Show me the results.
Boss, Are you sure this is an appropriate question to be asking your employee?
The doctor said I'm allergic to alcohol and I shouldn't drink anymore. Just scared of losing my job.
Even if you weren't allergic, I will not let you drink with me anymore. You're such a lightweight.
Hi. I was just passing by your office, so I decided to drop by. Are you free this weekend? My parents are inviting us for dinner.
It's over, Mora. We're done.
Why? If you don't want to go to my house, that's fine. Have you found someone else?
We had an agreement. It was all for the show. Here's your payment.
I don't want your money. Is this because of your new secretary? Did she seduce you?
Don't be foolish. Take the check and get out.
Mr. West, I overheard Mora's accusations. Why didn't you deny it? We didn't do anything wrong.
She's up to something. You were all over me when I brought you to the hotel. You weren't so innocent.
I don't remember any of that. Please don't make up scenarios in your head.
You don't remember this time either. Maybe I should show you the evidence.
What are you doing?
I left marks everywhere so you can't deny it. How about now? You can't deny it, right? Chloe, you're the one who always seduced me.
That was before I knew you had a girlfriend.
So you admit it. That we spent the night a month ago.
Yes, but I didn't know it back then. This is wrong. You have a girlfriend.
I broke up with Mora. Now I can do it.
Do it? What are you talking about?
I have something to say. 8 p.m. Green Island Restaurant.
Mr. West, I'm pregnant. The baby is... He just left. He doesn't care. I was so stupid to think he might. I'm so sorry, babies. I can't raise you. I just can't do it. He just left. He doesn't care. He doesn't even care about our babies.
Ethan, your grandma's situation's serious. I've heard that Dr. Julian Green is the best neurosurgeon in the country. Call Mora. Ask her father to do the surgery.
Dad, Mora and I broke up
What? When did this happen?
yesterday. But I asked her father to perform the surgery.
Good. And be polite. Mora loves you. Even after a breakup, she wouldn't hold a grudge.
Ethan West. You've got the nerve to show up here after breaking my daughter's heart. She cried all night because of you. How could you hurt her like that?
I'll apologize to Mora. Right now I need to save my grandmother. Name your price.
If I save her, you have to marry Mora. And don't you dare break her heart again.
Fine.
The surgery was a success. She should come to in the next 24 hours.
Dr. Green, we're deeply in your debt. I don't know how we'll ever repay you.
Eason agreed to marry Mora if the surgery was successful. I hope your family will keep their word.
The West family always honors its commitments.
Eric, why isn't Eason here today?
He's dealing with something at home. He didn't tell you?
Is everything okay? What happened?
Family matters.
I misunderstood him. I'll wait until he's last busy to tell him about the twins. I'm pregnant. It's our baby. I'm pregnant. It's our baby.
So that's why he broke up with me. Because of that tramp, Chloe. She thinks she can steal my man. She is going to regret it.
Oh my god. Our boss and Mora are getting married.
Wait,
How did you know? Mora just posted it on her socials. She said one season's grandma's better, they're getting hitched. She tagged him. Did he respond? Not yet, but his mom did. She called Mora daughter-in-law. It's official.
What?
Chloe, did you say you're pregnant?
Yes?
Whose baby is it?
It's not yours. Don't worry. I heard you're marrying Mara. Congratulations.
Chloe, are you crazy? You're pregnant with another man's child? And you have the nerve to tell me?
Yeah, I told you on purpose. I don't want to be lied to anymore. Got Mora, and I've got my baby. Let's call it quits.
Who's the father?
It's personal.
Chloe Hartman, you've got some nerve.
My phone's about to die. Bye.
Miss Hartman, it's rare to be pregnant with twins. Are you sure you want to go through with this?
Sure.
Is this Mrs. Hartman? You have a parcel from your daughter.
Chloe never mentioned anything about a gift.
Hello?
Is this Chloe Hartman? Your mother, Lucy Hartman, was in a car accident. She passed away shortly after.
No, she's at work. That can't be true. You must have called the wrong person.
The accident happened right outside the hotel. Her coworkers confirmed her identity.
I'm coming right now.
Miss Hartman, are you going ahead with the procedure?
No, I can't.
this can't be happening.
Miss Hartman, I'm so sorry, but we have to move your mother's body now.
Who killed her?
The suspect has fled the scene, but we're doing everything we can to track them down.
You have to catch them. You have to catch them.
She was gone. My only family. Gone. Why does God hate me so much? Hello?
This is a warning. Stay away from east and west.
Was this Mora's doing?
What are you doing here? Trying to be a third wheel?
I had my mother killed.
She lost it. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Chloe, let her go.
Dare you not admit to what you've done? My mother was everything I had and you took her away from me! I swear, I will not let you get away with this.
It's in my hand. It's going to break out. Do something.
The only person to ever hate me this much is Mora. You know it, Ethan. The only reason you're defending her is because she's your fiancé.
Listen, I swear, I didn't even know Chloe's mom died. If I had something to do with it, I can drop that right now.
After killing someone, what good is your word?
Chloe, I'm going to investigate. If it turns out Mora had nothing to do with your mom's death, you'll need to apologize.
Fine. I'll wait for the truth. Mom, Ethan said he'd find out the truth. I don't know if I can trust him. But I have no one else. I decided to keep the twins. You know, it's risky. But I've already lost you. I don't want to lose them too.
Hello? Where are you?
I don't even know where am I now. The cops are all over me. I'm stuck in some random field. You're supposed to send someone to take me out from the country. I send you my location. Send someone, quickly!
Send me the location. I'll take care of it.
You're Mora's guys, right? Where are we going now, huh?
The cops called me earlier. They found the guy who killed your mom.
And? Let's go to the station.
They found him, but he's dead.
What? How? Oh. Ethan, I refuse to accept that. You promised you'd find out the truth, not some dead end.
The cops find no connection between Mora and the suspect. The case is soon to be closed.
No. No, no, this can't be happening.
Chloe, I know your father passed away when you were young, and it's always been just you and your mom. Losing her like that is devastating, but it was an accident.
Accident? What about that phone call? Did you even listen to the recording? The man said I was flirting with somebody else's man and that's why he killed my mother. Teach me a lesson. Do you really think that was an accident?
The police couldn't find any evidence linking Mora and your mom's accident.
No.
Chloe, your mom is gone. But your life isn't over. Take some time off. I'll give you 2 weeks. And when you're ready, I'll give you your old job back.
Your grandmother suffered some brain damage from the stroke. She's going to need time to recover. She can't speak or recognize people yet, but don't worry. I'll monitor her closely.
So she's in vegetative state?
In a manner of speaking, but it's not as bad as you think. From a medical standpoint, the surgery was a success.
I'm not questioning your skills, doctor. But I'm gonna wait until my grandmother can speak before Mary Moore.
Mr. West, how may I help you?
Are you struggling with anything in your personal life?
No, everything is perfectly fine. Thank you for asking.
What about your pregnancy? What will you do? Your mother's gone, and it's only you now. Whoever the father is clearly doesn't intend to step up.
That is none of your business.
Seriously thinking about keeping it? Chloe, who's gonna take care of the kid? You don't have the means to provide a good life for them. I'm giving you good advice. Don't be stubborn.
You're getting married to Mora. Maybe you should just focus on her instead. If that's everything, I'll see myself out.
You seriously thinking about giving birth to a bastard child?
My child is not a bastard. If my pregnancy bothers you this much, I don't have to work here anymore.
Are you threatening me?
I'm just a secretary. How could I possibly threaten you?
Boss, can I take you home now?
Call Chloe now.
What? Why?
Ask her how it's going to take her to get rid of that bastard child.
Chloe, tell me the truth. What's going on between you and the boss?
There's nothing going on. You called me at this hour just to ask me that?
You think I wanted to? He made me.
Why didn't he call me himself?
He's wasted. He told me to ask you what it will take for you to get rid of your baby. Wait, when did you get pregnant? I didn't know.
You tell him I'm not getting rid of my baby.
Boss, she's not having an abortion. Can I take you home now?
Take me to Chloe's place.
Boss, it's too late. What if Moras finds out? She'll be pissed.
Who's the boss here? You're on me.
Alright, I take you to Chloe's.
Eric, why did you bring him here?
He insisted. What I was supposed to do. Let him pass out at the bar. It's all yours now. I'm clacking now.
Eric, no. You can't leave him here. Oh, God. Great.
Chloe?
Mr. West, you got really drunk last night and just barged into my place. I'm letting you go this time, but if it happens again...
Threatening me now? Maybe I should give you a real reason to hold me accountable. There is no sign of a guy living here, so tell me. Who's the father?
Shouldn't talk with your mouth full.
Watch who you're talking to, Chloe.
This isn't your office. You're sitting at my table, eating the food I made. And you think I have the right to question what I do with my life?
I'm concerned about my employees. What's wrong with that?
Oh. Do you usually show concern by ending up in their bed?
You know damn well you're different than them. Don't pretend you don't know.
Well, you're engaged to Mora, so maybe you should worry about her.
I'm not marrying her. I'm not marrying her.
Let's get one thing straight. I'm not gonna be your side piece, okay? So if you're gonna keep forcing yourself on me, I'll quit.
Really? Seriously going to do that?
I'm serious. I'll get another job.
I can't break up with Mora yet. I need more time.
Mr. West, I'm not asking you to leave Mora.
So, you want me to marry her? Chloe, I know you have feelings for me. You can deny all you want. Everybody tells a different story. Get dressed. You're coming with. What do you think of this one?
I think it's a little bit too trendy for an older woman. I think this one is more appropriate for somebody her age.
Then pick something a younger woman would like.
A younger woman? He must be getting something for more. Maybe this one? I thought you were buying this for Mora. I can't accept it.
I never personally buy Mora's gift. Anything she wants, I had Eric to buy for her.
But this is too much, really. I can't accept it.
Chloe, this is just the beginning. I'll be giving you more gifts.
Mora, guess what? A friend of mine saw Ethan shopping at the mall today. He's probably buying your mom's birthday present.
And he didn't even ask me to come with him.
He bought a bracelet and a necklace. That bracelet cost a fortune, and the diamond necklace? It has to be for you. I bet he's planning to surprise you.
What kind of necklace did he get me? Oh, I cannot wait to wear it.
Hold on, I'll ask my friend who works at the store. She's tied with one of the girls at the counter.
I bet Ethan is planning to surprise me on my mom's birthday.
I think so.
Okay, bye.
Juice? Why are you drinking juice? We're all drinking.
She can't drink.
Why does it matter what she drinks, Ethan? You're marrying Mora, right? Or are you not that into her? She's never even around.
This is my woman. You better show some respect.
So she's the one. You should have said so earlier.
Excuse me.
What's up with her? She's not pregnant, is she?
She is.
What? Ethan, you're gonna be a father. Congrats! How many months along is she? Is it a boy or girl?
The baby's not mine. The baby's not mine.
What do you mean? Didn't you say she's your girl? Why are you not the father? Look, man, Chloe is a hot, alright? But there are plenty of other women out there who are just as good looking. Why are you trying to be stepdad of someone else's kid? It just doesn't make any sense.
Once she falls in love with me, she'll get rid of the baby.
What's so special about her? Mora is probably a better choice. At least she's not a single mother. Look, Ethan, you're playing with fire. Chloe's the kind of woman you have fun with, but you don't marry her. You'll regret it, trust me.
That's enough. You've said enough.
Sorry about that. Why is everyone so quiet?
Don't mind him. Eat.
Hi, Ethan. I brought you something. I was not sure if you would like it, so I just decided to bring it to you first.
Just leave it on the table. I'm a little bit busy right now. Do you need anything else?
Well, next Thursday is my mom's birthday. You will be able to make it, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Has Chloe been in today?
Oh yes, she was here earlier. Just stepped out to deliver some documents.
Are you kidding me? Losing your mom must have been tough. But girls like you should stick with your kind. You are just an ordinary woman, so start acting like one. Stop fantasizing about climbing the social ladder. The higher you rise, the harder you fall.
You're threatening me?
Threatening you? Why would I do that? You are Ethan's precious secretary now. When your mom died, he even helped you with the investigation. It must be so special.
If you have any issues with Ethan's behaviors, you should take it up with him. I'm just a secretary. I don't make decisions.
Nice necklace. Did you buy that with your mom life's insurance money?
Don't you dare bring my mom into this! Don't ever want to hear you mention her again.
Who the hell do you think you are talking back like that? I will say whatever I want. That's the necklace Ethan bought yesterday. He gave it to her? No. There's no way Ethan would give it to her. Chloe, tell me the truth. Did you buy that necklace yourself?
It's work hours. I need to go back to work.
Why are you leaving? I ask you a question. Did you buy that necklace yourself?
Chloe? Go back to work.
I didn't do anything to her. Why are you always standing up for Chloe? It breaks my heart.
This is my company. Chloe's my employee. Why did you bring her to the hallway?
There was just a misunderstanding. I was trying to clear the air.
There is no need. You two have no reason to interact. Stop bothering her.
Ethan, I know you hate me for forcing you into that engagement. I hate myself for it too. I just love you so much. The diamond necklace Ethan bought wasn't for me. That bitch Chloe has it.
Did he say that?
I saw it with my own eyes. That bitch was wearing my necklace. It's definitely from Ethan.
What's wrong with Ethan? How could he ignore you, his fiancée, and mess around with Chloe?
Don't you dare talk bad about Ethan.
Okay, I won't. It's all that Chloe's fault. Mora, you want me to teach her a lesson?
What do you have in mind? Okay, let's do this.
Hey, I want that necklace.
Not the necklace. I can give you money. I can give you money. No! This is theft. You're breaking the law.
You better not call the police if you know what's good for you.
Why did he only take my necklace and nothing else? Is this Mora's doing?
He said, I tried few new recipes today and I made you a lunch. I hope you like it.
Do you still have the necklace I gave you?
It was stolen last night. I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you in person.
It's Chloe's necklace, isn't it? She was mugged last night. Did you do it?
Ethan, what? I didn't steal her necklace. I saw her wearing one and I liked the design, so I bought exact same one. I even have the receipt. Oh, okay. You know what? When I was buying it, the salesperson mentioned that you purchased exact same one for someone else. What are the odds, huh?
I bought that necklace for Chloe. If you can't accept the fact that I care about her, maybe we should end the engagement.
No! You are my fiancé, and you are going to be my husband! I won't let anyone take you away from me!
Chloe. What happened?
I was robbed last night. I'm just a little bit shaken up.
How did you fall? Is that because of that necklace?
Yes. How did you know?
Mora showed up with a necklace just like yours.
Ethan, I've been thinking, and I don't need this job anymore. Since my mom passed, I've got some money and my health is suffering. I want to quit. Until you and Mora end things, I don't want to see you. Ethan, I'm sorry. I like you. But there's no room for 3 people in a relationship. I can't keep lying to myself anymore.
Are you free in the evening?
Ma'am, please wait. Please, help save our boss.
Who took your boss?
I think the name was Ethan.
Ethan West?
Who the hell are you? Who sent you to steal Chloe's necklace? It was Ruby! Call her! Tell her to get here now!
Ethan, I'm sorry. I was only helping Mora. I couldn't stand to see her suffering, so I did it. Please, Ethan, I made a mistake. I'm not gonna do it again. Please don't send me to prison. I haven't even started a family or got married. Please, please.
Go back, Mora. Maybe she can help you.
They already gave back the necklace. Maybe we should just let it go?
Ruby is going to prison.
Ruby's Mora's friend. Don't you think you're being a little harsh?
I don't forgive and I don't forget. She messed with me. Now she faces the consequences.
Just take me home. I'm exhausted.
I will not let anything happen to you. Trust me.
We can't be together, Ethan. Not until you break off your engagement to Mora.
You know I can't do that right now. Why are you pushing me?
Sorry.
Ethan, please. Ruby's been my best friend since we were kids. If she goes to prison because of me, I will never forgive myself. Please, drop the charges.
I'll drop the charges if you cancel the engagement.
No! I will never break off the engagement.
Then you can send your best friend to prison by yourself.
Chloe Hartman, you're sending my best friend to prison? I'll make sure you pay for this.
It's hard to believe you've been gone for 35 days already. At home, they say that it's after 35 days that the dead realize they're actually gone, and they come to say goodbye one last time. What are you doing here?
It's been 35 days since your mom passed. And my best friend, only in her 20s, is going to prison for the next decade. Can you imagine 10 years for a woman? Remember when you thought I had something to do with your mom's death? Well, you were right. I did it. You're gonna send me to prison? Try me. Mother, you killed my mother! Teach her a lesson. Just don't kill her.
Is that Ethan? Is that Ethan?
Miss, can you hear me?
I can't die. I have to avenge my mother. Mora must pay.
Please wake up. She's able to sit up now, though she still can't speak or walk. With time, she should recover fully, but given her age, it's a slow process. For now, we'll have her rest at home, and next year, we'll consider another surgery.
Julian, we have full faith in your skills. My mother's old. She won't recover like a young person would, but with you overseeing her care, I know she'll get back to her old self.
Thank you. Now, about Easton and Mora's wedding. It's time to start planning. Mora isn't getting any younger, and it won't look good if we keep postponing things.
Easton, what do you say?
Let's wait until the second surgery. If Dr. Green can't wait his daughter to get married, maybe she can find another husband.
You're the one who brought me here.
No problem. My name is Patrick Hale. And you are?
Chloe. Chloe Hartman. Can I get your contact information? I'd like to repay you.
I actually live abroad. I only came back here to visit my family's grave. The rain started right when I got to the cemetery. And then I found you, Miss Hartman, that you are pregnant with twins. The kids are okay right now, but who did this to you?
I didn't even know how to explain it.
Was it the father? If you need some legal help, I can recommend some good divorce attorneys.
Mr. Hill, I'm not married, and no, it wasn't the father.
All right then. If there is nothing else I can do, I will be on my way.
You saved my life by bringing me here. That's more than enough. Thank you.
No need to thank me. I forgot to mention, I'm a doctor too. Take care of yourself. I will be in the country for about a week, so if you need anything.
Thank you.
Boss, I discovered something important. The night Chloe and you spent together lined up perfectly with Chloe's pregnancy weeks.
So her baby is mine?
That's right. It's all fits now. That baby is definitely yours.
I have to find her. Chloe, open the door!
Boss, maybe she's at work or something.
The number you have dialed, not available at the moment.
What if she moves out?
Get a locksmith. I'm not leaving her until I find her.
Boss, it's already 10. Chloe's probably not living here anymore. The vegetable in the kitchen look like there is getting out for days.
Her belongings are still there. If she's not staying here, where is she?
Her phone's off. Maybe something happened.
You think something happened to her? You think something happened to her?
Even if something did, it'd be hard to trace her. Both parents are gone. She don't have no family, no best friends. If she doesn't reach out to us, it'd be hard to find her.
Ethan, are you looking for me? Where are you? I'll come meet you.
Haven't seen Chloe lately.
No, why? You got things up with her, didn't you? Did she reach out to you?
I'm looking for her, but I can't. Haven't you contacted her with her at all?
Why would I? Are you going to accuse me every time you cannot find her?
Miss Hartman, you're in good shape. You can be discharged now. After you leave, make sure to visit OBGYN to get baby's records in order.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and Dr. Patrick asked me to remind you to give him a call when you're ready to leave.
Got it. I'll call him. Thank you. Ethan called me? How does he know what happened? No. No way. No one knows except Mora. Patrick?
Come to the cafe near the hospital when you're discharged. Lunch is on me.
Okay, I'll be there.
Chloe, your answer. I've been waiting at your apartment for 3 days. Where are you? Why haven't you been home? 2 months and a half ago, at the hotel, you remember?
Ethan, that was a one-time thing. Let's just leave it at that.
One-time thing? Done. The one you're carrying is mine, Chloe.
So what? Do you want it?
Of course I do. That's my child. Tell me where you are. We need to talk face to face.
I'm busy.
When are you free? Where have you been for the past few days?
I've been at the hospital. Ethan, we have nothing left to talk about.
You bothered the child? Chloe, how could you do that without telling me? You killed my child!
We're over, Ethan. You have your life and I have mine. We live in different worlds.
You lied to me. You hid everything. And you're gonna leave me hanging? You like seeing me look like a fool, aren't you? You're just gonna walk away about the child? And act like none of this matters? You only even care about yourself, Chloe. Never me.
Yes. It's just me and my mom. There's no space for anybody else. Dr. Patrick, thank you so much for covering my medical expenses. I'll pay you back. I promise.
Don't worry about it. Tell me, what's your plan?
I'll, first have this baby and then think about the rest.
Have you thought about leaving the country for a while? If there is nothing keeping you here, you could try something new. Why don't you come with me and see the world?
Okay. I'll go.
Boss, here is Patrick's Hale file. He's originally from France, studied in New York City, and now works at one of the top medical centers in the world. He's only 30, but already one of the top neurosurgeons in the US. We will think of hiring him to treat your grandmother.
He's back in town?
Do you want me to get in touch with him?
Help me set up an appointment with him.
Alright.
For this industry conference, how did you manage to get Anne invited? She's so mysterious. Ever since she blew up, she never appeared in public. No one knows how she looks like.
Annie is from France. She plans to develop her career here, so she wants to take advantage of this industry conference to network with top American designers.
I have to meet her in person. I'll be definitely attending this conference. Has Annie arrived?
Not yet. We're all waiting.
I cannot wait to meet her.
First, let me introduce a familiar yet new friend. Familiar, because we know her brand well, but new, because most of you haven't met her in person. She is Annie. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Annie? Chloe is Annie?
Mora, the staff just called her Miss Annie.
I heard that. But she was just Ethan's secretary. How could she be Annie?
Annie skyrocketed to the top in the last 2 years.
No wonder she's so smug.
Taking advantage of tonight, I'm excited to announce that Annie will be collaborating closely with our fashion group. Let's look forward to the new miracles she'll create.
What's going on?
Mr. Su is collaborating with Annie instead of me.
Why?
It's Chloe's fault. She's trying to ruin my reputation in this industry.
So what are you gonna do about it?
I'm not just gonna sit back and take it. I need to find a new backer. Without the company's support, I have other cards to play. Chloe's trying to ruin my life. It won't be that easy. Chloe Hartman, it's really you. I thought you were gone.
Long time no see. I'm guessing you're already married to Ethan now. Should I call you Mrs. West?
Spare me your sarcasm. We are not married yet, but we are still together. And how about you? Disappeared for so long, and now you're back. What for?
I came back for you.
I almost forgot about your pathetic mother. How dare you hit me? Do you want to join your mom 6 feet under? Huh?
Try messing with me like you did 4 years ago and see what happens.
Listen, you call me out of nowhere. Something on your mind?
We're done.
What? Is it because of that bitch Chloe came back? I ran into her today.
She's back?
You haven't seen her yet? I figured she would come back running to you.
Let's focus on us. I don't need your father to treat my grandmother anymore. We're through.
Are you giving up on your grandma, Ethan? Just give my dad one more chance.
I found a better doctor.
Better doctor? Who? There's no one else like my dad.
Patrick Hale.
Patrick Hale? I've heard of him. He's brilliant, but impossible to get a hold of. My father was trying to meet him once and he got rejected. Good luck.
That's my business.
Boss, Patrick's Hale assistant replied. He said unless you two are mutual friends, Hale won't meet you. From what I found, you two move in completely different cycles, no connections.
Then make one.
How are we supposed to do that? Patrick's Hale's untouchable. Even planning someone in his life is impossible.
He's got kids, right? They must go to school.
Got it. I look into it.
Why do you keep renting that old place?
It's where my mother and I made memories.
Fine. Just spend weekend with me. Kids miss you.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Patrick. Once I settle things, I'll take care of them myself.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. If you need my help with anything, just say the word.
Just take care of the kids, and I can handle the rest.
By the way, Ethan been trying to reach me about his grandmother's surgery.
Do what you want. It's your job.
I told to my assistant to tell him I won't see him until mutual friend introduces us. Do you think he'll figure out our connection?
Patrick, are you doing this on purpose? Ethan and I broke up a long time ago.
I'm just curious if you'd ask me to help him. Because if you did, I would.
He wouldn't reach out to me, I'm sure. We left things on pretty bad terms.
Mom!
How? Chloe and Patrick have kids?
Which one is your favorite?
Chloe. No wonder you insisted on breaking up with me. Turns out you were involved with Patrick.
Could you be a little bit more polite, Ethan?
I checked Patrick's Hales profile. Are those two kids yours?
Ethan, this is a public space. I don't think it's appropriate for this conversation.
Let's talk outside. I broke up with Moore.
Just broke up? Because I ran into her the other day, and she said you were still together.
My father couldn't help my grandmother's illness, so I'm switching doctors.
Patrick is indeed a good doctor.
How did you two meet? Your kids are grown up, and according to the timeline, you almost immediately got involved with him after we broke up, right?
Ethan, there is no need to taunt me. If you're trying to reach Patrick, I can help you with that.
No need. I have my ways to arrange a meeting with him.
We don't have to act like enemies. If you need my help, I can help you.
Don't pretend to be the good guy. After you aborted my child, I swore I'll never trust you again.
Okay. If you so clearly don't need my help, I'll go now.
Chloe. You used to despise me because I didn't give you proper status. Now you're staying with Patrick and still have no proper status. Why aren't you causing a scene to break up with him?
My relationship with Patrick is not what you think. Not that it's any of your business. I'm a designer now, and I support myself.
She's such a beautiful girl. Too bad she's Patrick's bastard child. If Chloe hadn't aborted her child back then, maybe I would have a daughter as beautiful as her.
Brother, Dad, Mom? Who are you?
Enter your father's phone number and call him to get you.
Daddy, come save me.
Nina, don't be afraid. Tell Daddy where you know. I'll come get you right away.
Dr. Patrick, this is Ethan West. I'm at home. Drive over directly. I'll have someone to meet you at the door.
Ethan, how dare you kidnap my daughter? Do you believe I let you get away without reporting you?
Dr. Patrick, this is an exaggeration. I brought your daughter to my home as a guest. I won't harm her.
If you dare to lay a finger on my daughter, I won't treat your grandmother's illness.
Dr. Patrick, I said I won't harm your daughter, so I won't. I'll wait at home, so come as soon as possible.
Oh, Ethan. Whose child is this? She's beautiful.
This is Patrick's daughter.
Oh, Dr. Patrick doesn't see you, so you bring his daughter home. Aren't you afraid he'd hate you?
I won't harm his daughter. What does he have to hate me for?
All right, then.
This Ethan West is truly scoundrel. He kidnapped Nina and forced me to meet him. I'm on my way to his house now. Well, I need to know. Is he always this domineering and rude?
Is this the way Ethan handles things? He hasn't changed at all.
Where is my daughter?
My mother took her out to play. Don't worry. When you leave, I'll have my mother send her back immediately.
Ethan, using such despicable means to force me out only makes me dislike you more.
Dr. Patrick, you're not willing to meet me because I talked to Chloe before, right?
This has nothing to do with Chloe. You go to France and ask around. I indeed don't take on unfamiliar surgeries until it's for mutual friends. But even if we do, I'm not taking on every surgery.
Dr. Patrick, make a deal. As long as you can cure my grandmother, I'll double the fee. If you don't agree, I'll have to take other actions.
I don't need money. If I don't practice medicine, I will get home and take over my family business. So, Ethan, don't even think about threatening me.
Chloe told me that if she talked to you, you'd help. Is it right?
Yes.
What's your relationship with her? She had 2 kids with you and still didn't marry?
Because She has some things to handle. Once she's done with her business, I will marry her.
How did you two meet?
4 years ago, I went to my grandfather's grave and found her lying injured in front of her mother's tombstone. It was pouring rain.
She was injured? How didn't I know about that?
That's something you need to ask yourself. You don't understand her at all. And you don't love her enough. Otherwise, she wouldn't have left with me.
Ethan, I think Dr. Patrick's daughter look a bit like you, especially those eyes. Exactly the same.
Mom, every kid looks like me because you want to have a grandchild.
Ethan, your mom's right. Maybe it's time to focus on your personal life.
Stay.
Who is it?
Chloe, 4 years ago, you were injured and you fainted in front of your mother's tombstone. Why you didn't tell me? Who did it?
Did Patrick tell you that?
Answer my question.
There were no cameras, no witnesses. Even if I had told you, what could you have done?
It's Maura Green, wasn't it?
Ethan, let me handle my own grudges.
No wonder you had to abort a child. You suffer such humiliation. And I stood by the person who bullied you. Chloe, you never trusted me.
I didn't distrust you. I know you're a good man. You had people you needed to protect. I get it.
So considerate of the bigger picture. But even if a choice had to be made, it should have been mine to make. Not you deciding to sacrifice a child by yourself.
Past is in the past, okay? Please, let's not argue anymore. I think I should leave. I need a rest.
Number's still the same, right?
Yes.
Ethan, what are you doing here?
Did you ask someone to hurt Chloe 4 years ago? You lied to me!
Ethan, you got it all wrong. I've never contacted Chloe privately. It was Ruby's boyfriend who did it. I was afraid he might do something extreme to Chloe, so I followed him. It was Ruby's boyfriend who did it. I was scared he might do something bad, so I tried to stop him.
What was his name?
I think Josh. Yes, it was Josh. But he moved abroad with his family.
My parents want to take the kids back for lunch tomorrow. Do you want to come with me?
I'd love to. I haven't met your parents yet, so that'd be nice.
But they've seen your pictures and they really like you. If you come with me tomorrow, they might push us to get married.
Haven't you told them about my situation?
Well, not in detail.
Then I can't join you. I don't want any misunderstandings with your parents.
It feels like you hate me.
Hate you? Of course I don't hate you, Patrick. I'm so grateful you're here. How could I hate you? You're like a brother to me.
Are you saying you'd like to see other people?
Patrick, you deserve someone better than me. Hello?
Chloe, hi. I'm Grace, Ethan's mother. I know you haven't met me, but I've always known about you.
Hi, Grace. What can I do for you?
I'd like to meet with you and talk.
You are truly beautiful. No wonder Ethan was so taken with you.
Mrs. West, Ethan and I broke up a long time ago, and I'm sure that's not what you wanted to talk about, right?
Exactly. I need to ask you a favor. You should know that Ethan's grandmother has been bedridden and hasn't received a proper treatment. I've heard that Dr. Patrick is an excellent doctor. Unfortunately, he's hard to reach. And since you have a special relationship with him, I'm hoping you can help us out.
Does Ethan know you're asking me this? Because he did say he wouldn't ask me for help, and I think he would be upset if he knew.
He doesn't. Please, don't tell him.
Mrs. West, even if Patrick helps, he cannot cure every illness.
As long as there is even a slight chance, we have to try, right?
I'll talk to him.
Thank you, dear. And please, don't tell Ethan we had a chat.
Okay.
So, Ethan is the father of your kids, right?
How did you know?
They look like him.
Smart.
Do you still have feelings for him? I bet you still have feelings for him. Otherwise, why would you reject Patrick? He's asked you out several times and you've been ignoring him.
Shelley, I can't have kids anymore.
But Patrick doesn't care about that, right?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't, but what about his family? Patrick is my lifesaver. I'm so grateful for everything he's done for me. But I will not marry him.
All right, then.
Patrick, how are the kids today? I hope they didn't give your parents too much trouble.
No, my parents love them. They were playing outside today.
That's good. And I need to ask you something.
About West family?
Yes.
Did Ethan ask you?
No, he did not reach out to me.
So, why are you helping him?
Because his mother did.
Maybe Ethan had his mother reaching out to you.
No, Ethan is not that kind of person.
You haven't seen each other in 4 years. How can you be so sure he hasn't changed?
Patrick, listen, if you don't want to help his grandmother, that's fine. I don't want to make you upset.
Okay, calm down. You begged me. I can't refuse. Right? Ethan doesn't deserve you to be treating yourself like this.
Boss, Patrick's assistant just called. He wants us to organize your grandmother's medical treatment and send it over.
Dr. Patrick is willing to treat my grandmother?
It seems so. His assistant said he needs to review her medical records first and might require a detailed checkup at the hospital.
Dr. Patrick, thank you for agreeing to treat my grandmother.
I am doing it because Chloe asked.
She begged you?
Yes, if she hadn't asked me, I wouldn't agree to any terms you said.
Mom, why didn't you tell Chloe to come?
Isn't that a good thing? I went to see Chloe myself, just for me. I didn't mention you.
You're my mother. Even if you don't mention me, she will think of me.
Ethan, don't overthink it. Chloe is easy to talk to. She's much gentler than Maura. You are not married yet, and neither is she. Why don't you win her back? As long as she's willing to marry you, we won't mind her past with the kids.
Annie, how are you settled into your job?
Quite well, I'd say. How can I help you?
We ended our collaboration with Maura. She's semi-blacklisted now.
Thank you. I'll honor my promise and work diligently for the fashion company.
I really admire your talent. Maura Green doesn't compare to you at all. I'm curious, why do you hate Maura so much?
I used to be Ethan's assistant.
Ah, I understand. You three have some sort of romantic entanglement.
Well, I have even deeper hatred for her, but that's personal, and I think it's best if we don't talk about it.
All right. I won't ask. Just focus on your work. If there is anything I can help you with, let me know.
Thank you.
Are you free this evening? Let's meet up. Thank you for helping my grandma.
You're welcome. If the surgery goes well, you should thank Patrick.
Your kids are with Patrick, but you still live alone in your old apartment.
Yes.
Haven't you moved on yet?
Moved on? How can I move on when my mother was murdered? Moved on? How can I move on when my mother was murdered?
Didn't the police clear this up before?
But it wasn't true. You might think I'm saying nonsense here, but 4 years ago, Maura showed me a video. It was footage of my mother being attacked. It was proof that it was not an accident. And until Maura Green is punished, I can't find peace.
Why didn't you tell me earlier? Maybe she already destroyed all the evidence.
How could I have told you?
Now, 4 years have passed, and it's hard to gather evidence. And we can't use legal means to bring her to justice. But I can make her go bankrupt. She grew up with everything handed to her. If she suddenly loses everything, she'll be miserable.
You want to help me get revenge? Do you believe what I'm saying is true?
If you're lying to me, you can deal with it.
Mr. Hugh, I will need your support from now on.
That depends on how well you perform tonight. If you can make me happy, I'll definitely take care of you.
Hello.
Are you Miss Maura Green? Your father was taken last night.
What do you mean? How could this happen? Was it Chloe?
Sorry? Anyway, your father is soon to stand trial. Please come to the police station as soon as possible.
You bitch!
Hello?
Chloe, you bitch! Did you report my father because of me?
You are living in your fantasy world. My father is absolutely fine.
Well, if your dad is fine, then what are you worried about?
Fuck! Chloe, you're going to regret it!
Ethan? Are you busy right now?
Not really. What's up?
Maura just called me saying that somebody reported her father. Was that you?
Yeah, I dug up some scandals about her dad. I figured if they push me to marry Maura again, I could use those scandals as leverage.
And what will happen to him?
He'll lose his reputation and face fines. Maura's future doesn't look good either.
Thank you, Ethan.
No problem. Are you free this weekend? My mom wants to invite you over for dinner.
I have to watch the kids this weekend.
I've already met your kids.
Let's talk about it over the weekend, okay? I have to see if the kids are okay with it.
All right.
Chloe, today I'll watch the kids and you can have free time with Hazen.
Grace, the kids can be a handful.
Nonsense. They are delightful.
I'll see you later. I have a feeling you didn't invite me here just for dinner.
What would you like to eat? I can have the nanny prepare anything.
I'm actually not that hungry. I had a big breakfast.
Does Patrick know you're coming to our house today?
I did not tell him. He's working late today, and I think he might be a little upset if he knew I brought the kids over.
He told me he wants to marry you. Do you feel the same?
Can we not talk about this?
Why not? If he proposes, will you accept?
No. I'm not considering marriage right now. I just want to focus on my career and think about the rest later.
Ethan, Andy looks so much like you.
Mom, it's late. Why bring this up now?
I took a picture of Andy today. See? He looks exactly like you did when you were a kid. Andy must be your son, right?
Mom, the kid's last name is Hale. They're definitely Patrick's.
But those kids do not look like Dr. Patrick. Andy looks like you, and Nina looks like Chloe. They just do not resemble him.
Mom, calm down. It's late. You should rest.
Do you want to ask Chloe about this now?
Let's talk about it tomorrow.
Boss, you're early today.
Eric, look.
Is that a photo of you as a kid?
It's Chloe's son. My mom told me he looks just like me.
It really does. Boss, if you hadn't said the kid is Patrick's, I might thought it's your childhood photo.
My mom wants me to run a paternity test.
Let's do it, boss. Give him the kid's edges. It's possible he's yours.
Go contact the kindergarten. Tell them to arrange a checkup routine for the kids in the afternoon. Once we get Andy and Nina's blood sample, send them to the paternity testing center immediately.
Got it. Have you talked to Chloe about this?
She's still holding back. Once we get the result, if Andy's mine, I'll talk to her.
Dad, are you okay? They didn't find anything, right?
Mora, I'm sorry. I made a lot of mistakes. I thought everything was perfect and wouldn't be exposed, but they found so much evidence. To protect you, I'm planning to divorce your mother.
How could this happen, Dad? Please, don't leave us.
I have to pay fines and sell the house. I need to distance myself to protect you.
How did Chloe manage to get so much dirt on you?
It wasn't Chloe.
What?
It was Eason who wanted to take me down.
How do you feel? You are pregnant. Congratulations.
What? I'm pregnant? Eason never touched me. How? If it were his baby, that wouldn't ruin anything.
Listen better. Have a good rest. I'll come back to you later.
Even if it's not his, I need Eason to think it is. Eason, it was my fault. I loved you too much. I forced you into marrying me against your will. Everything happening to my family is probably karma. I feel like I have nowhere to turn. Eason, we know each other for so long. Can you really bear to see me destroyed?
Mora, don't pretend to be innocent. Chloe's mother was killed because of you, wasn't she? That's your karma.
Eason, I won't appear in the life anymore. I wish you and Chloe all the best. May you all grow together, happily ever after. Eason, even though you will never be mine, at least for tonight, you belong to me.
Boss, the paternity test results for you and the kids are here.
She lied to me again. She said she aborted our child. But they're twins?
Congratulations, boss. Even though Chloe deceived you, she gave you two beautiful twins. You can't be too harsh on her. She put in a lot of effort.
I'm gonna find Chloe right now.
Boss, when you meet Chloe, don't lose your cool. She's a renowned designer at the fashion group now, with plenty of options. If you upset her, you might lose custody of the kids.
Chloe, Ethan is looking for you.
He came here?
Yeah, he's just outside.
Let him in.
Andy and Nina are my kids. Why did you lie to me? Why did you let our kids think another man was their father?
When I was at my lowest, it wasn't you who stood by me. It was Patrick.
You're just shifting the blame onto me. I'd never let you leave if I knew about our children. You just deceived me all this time.
You were with Maura back then. We couldn't be together.
Then, how did you know I wouldn't leave the Greens family for you and our kids?
I didn't want you to have to choose between me and saving your grandmother. Plus, we were not compatible. The kids were an accident.
You never cared about me. You just wanted me for my kids.
Kids are mine.
They're my kids too. Without me, could you get these kids on your own? No matter what, I won't let my kids carry Patrick's last name.
Are you trying to take away my kids from me? Don't push me, Ethan.
All right. Once the surgery is done, you'll give the kids back. Why did you give our kids Patrick's last name? You two are not even in a relationship.
I had the kids in France. There, your capability of taking care of a child determines whether you can keep it or not. If you're deemed unfit, they get sent to foster care.
So you couldn't care for the kids and had them registered under Patrick's last name?
I didn't have a choice.
You would rather ask a complete stranger for help and not me?
Ethan, please. The kids are healthy and that's all that matters. I don't want to argue about this anymore.
I'm the one who was deceived. My own kids, or calling someone else dad. I have all reason to be upset.
Fine. Be upset all you want. I have work to do.
You must marry me.
Ethan, what brings you here? I know you and Chloe used to have a thing. Normally, I wouldn't get involved in your personal affairs. But now that I'm her boss,
I'm still the father of her kids. I won't interfere with Chloe working here, so don't worry about me coming to see her.
are you the father of her kids?
I have a paternity test. Would you like to see?
No wonder you and Maura broke up. So you're planning to marry Chloe now?
She has to marry me.
Ethan's quite the catch. Handsome, successful, and with a clean reputation. Maura always wanted to marry him, but he wasn't interested. Now he is willing to marry you. Why the hesitation?
I mean, marrying him was always my dream. We didn't work out back then, and now I'm not sure marriage is the right step.
Chloe, with your talent and status, you deserve someone great. If I were you, I'd consider Ethan seriously. Plus, he is the father of your children.
Well, my kids are doing just fine.
But with Ethan, things could be even better, no matter how good Patrick is. Can he love your children like their real father? I can tell you, only a biological father's love is truly unconditional.
I told you. Andy looks exactly like Ethan. Andy has to be his son. And I can't believe Nina is too. Twins. That's so perfect.
Why aren't you bringing the kids back? We don't abandon family, Ethan.
Now's not the time. Let's talk after Grandma's surgery.
Are you worried Dr. Patrick won't give the kids back? They are not his. Why won't he return them to us?
Because while the kids are under his roof, Chloe won't run away. Patrick just wants to be with Chloe.
Then win Chloe back.
That's the plan tonight.
Good luck.
What are you doing here so late at night? Thought we agreed to talk after your grandmother's surgery.
Don't pretend like you don't have feelings for me.
Ethan, you weren't the only one struggling, okay? I carried our children for 9 months. Do you know how hard that was? I admit, I was wrong to deceive you, but I did what I thought was best. Never blamed you. Please, don't see me as the enemy. Good morning. I made you some breakfast. Go wash up so we can eat.
After breakfast, take me to your mom's grave.
Ethan.
Mrs. Hartman, I should have come sooner. Even though we never met, I feel responsible. If Chloe hadn't met me, you'd still be here.
Ethan, I never blamed you for what happened to my mother. I never regretted.
Besides apologizing to your mom, I want her to know that I'm willing to spend the rest of my life taking care of you and our kids. Chloe Hartman. Will you marry me?
A proposal at my mom's grave? Only Ethan would think of this. Let me think about it. After your grandmother's surgery. I'll give you an answer then, okay?
Is it because of Patrick?
No, it's not because of Patrick. I just don't want to rush things. Patrick is focusing on your grandmother's surgery and I don't think it's the right timing to announce this. If the roles were reversed, how would you feel?
All right. After the surgery, let's talk. By the way, have you thought about moving? Your mom wouldn't like you living in that old apartment forever.
I know. I'll start looking soon.
I have several places. Let's pick one you like. It can be a wedding gift.
Well, if everything goes well, the surgery will be next Friday.
Dr. Patrick, we can't thank you enough.
Can't guarantee success, but I will do my best.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. We're prepared for any outcome. We're also grateful for how you've cared for Andy and Nina. And if you're willing, we'd be honored if you could continue to be part of their lives.
Did you tell them?
Dr. Patrick, Chloe didn't tell us anything. We just happened to see Andy and thought he'd look like me. So we ordered a paternity test for the kids.
You guys didn't ask for my permission to do that. What you've done is illegal.
I'm their biological father. Being called dad doesn't make you their father.
Regardless of biology, I've been there for them.
Please, don't argue. Dinner's getting cold. Let's just eat. Okay? Patrick, I've moved.
You're telling me now. Why didn't you tell me sooner?
It seemed unimportant back then, and I didn't want to bother you.
Does Ethan know?
Yes.
Are you getting back with Ethan?
Patrick, I just started a new job. I'm still adjusting. Really not thinking of relationships right now.
But Ethan and his family, they seem very welcoming. They don't see you as an outsider.
Well, they're very welcoming to you too. They also don't see you as an outsider.
Well, it's different.
I guess it is. I've known Ethan for a very long time, so his parents know me. Now that they know about the kids, we're closer.
So what are you thinking?
I'm not sure. Even though I cared about Ethan before, it's been 4 years. Can't just decide so hastily.
My guess was right. Chloe is already tangled up with Ethan. Maybe all the houses here belong to Ethan. Chloe, I've been so good to you. Why can't I warm your heart? What is Ethan doing better than me? I can give you everything Ethan can give you. I'm not giving up.
Why didn't you call me back?
Sorry, I was so exhausted today. Finished work late and didn't really check my phone. I just hopped in the shower.
Want me to get you a nanny?
Oh no, that's okay. We can just get a cleaner for the weekends.
Why are you pushing me away? It's been 4 years we didn't see each other. We need to spend more time together, don't you think? Chloe. This is a gift from my mom. Please.
Are you sure this is a gift from your mom? This feels more like your style.
My mom asked me what kind of gift you want. I said I wasn't sure. So I suggested to give you money so you can buy what you want. So she prepared this card.
Classic Ethan. I don't need it. I can earn my own money. I'm not short on cash.
Then I'll buy you another gift.
It's okay. Just go freshen up.
After my grandmother's surgery next week, you have to clear things up with Patrick. You're mine. Tell him to stop interfering. You said that love can't accommodate 3 people.
I will.
Chloe, I just picked up a package for you from the front desk. I brought it to you here.
What is it?
It's from jewelry store. The staff said a customer bought it and had it delivered here. The customer is either Patrick or Ethan. Wow, these are beautiful. Chloe, your skin is so fair. This will look amazing on you.
Ethan must have bought these. He said he wanted to give me a gift last night. But I didn't expect him to leave them here. Ethan, I just got a set of jewelry. Did you buy this for me?
Yeah, you like them?
I love it. With how much I work, I don't really have anywhere to wear those. Really, you don't have to spend that much money on me. Just buy me something affordable next time. Okay?
Chloe, keep working. We'll talk at lunch.
Ethan, I'm sorry. I know we agreed not to stay in touch, but I'm pregnant. The baby is yours, Ethan. I didn't know what to do, so I had to call you.
What are you talking about?
I'm pregnant, Ethan. The baby is yours. I don't want to ruin your relationship with Chloe, but...
Maura, are you sure the baby is mine? I was drunk. I don't remember anything happening.
You don't remember, but I do.
Maura, you better not be lying.
I'm not. If you don't believe me, we can do paternity test after the baby is yours.
I won't let that come.
So you really have no feelings for me? You don't even want your own child?
I already have children. Chloe and I have twins. She's the only one I plan to marry. If you tell her about this, there will be consequences.
If I abort the baby, you will have to clear my dad's reputation.
Absolutely not.
Then give me money.
How much do you want?
10 million. It's not much for you and my family needs it.
If you bought the baby, I'll transfer the money.
Okay, but can you please come with me? My parents don't know and they would never allow it. I'm scared to go alone.
Fine. I'll meet you at the hospital this afternoon.
Okay. Ethan, thanks for agreeing to come with me to parental appointment. I'll be at St. Mary's Hospital at 2:30 p.m. Oh, sorry, wrong person. Chloe, I've paid dearly for my past mistakes. My dad is ill and my family is falling apart. I'm sorry. I promise not to bother you anymore.
Are you pregnant? So Mora really is pregnant with Ethan's child? He's promising to be with me and the kids, but he's here with her? I can't handle this.
Chloe, what are you doing here? Are you okay?
Why are you here with Mora?
Ethan, since Chloe isn't feeling well, you should stay with her. I'll head inside first.
Chloe, I'm sorry. This all happened so suddenly. I didn't expect Mora to be pregnant. But
You told me to end things with Patrick, even though we had nothing going on. While saying you and Mora were done. And now this? A baby? Don't you see how absurd this is?
I'll take care of it.
Take care of it? How?
Chloe, I was drunk. I don't remember anything happening. She claims the baby is mine, but I doubt it.
You were drunk when we first met too. Is that what you usually do? You get drunk and then you sleep with women? I'm so disappointed in you.
Is everything done?
Ethan, why are you still here? I thought I told you to stay with Chloe.
She left.
I'm sorry. Everything is my fault. If I hadn't gotten pregnant, none of this would happen.
Mora, did you call her here? How else will she just happen to show up at the hospital?
I didn't! Please believe me. I wouldn't dare to make more mistakes. I will do whatever you ask.
From now on, we're done. Don't contact me again.
Okay. I won't reach out to you again.
I'll have our CFO transfer the money for you later.
Thank you.
Eric, I need you to have someone follow Mora. I will daily check on who she meets. Also, check who she's been seeing after we broke up.
Boss, didn't you end things with her? Why investigate now?
She claimed she was pregnant with my child, but I suspect the baby wasn't mine. Last time we met, I was blacked out drunk. When I was drunk with Chloe, years ago. I remembered everything. I need to get to the bottom of this, otherwise I won't be able to explain things to Chloe.
Does Chloe know about this?
Yeah, I ran into her when I brought Mora to hospital. I suspect Mora might have called her, but she denies it.
Alright, boss. I'll get someone on it right away. You need to keep Chloe steady. Don't let Dr. Patrick use this opportunity to come between you two.
I know. Chloe, I made dinner. It's my first time cooking, so I'm not sure it's any good.
I'm here to pack my things.
Chloe, I can explain. I'm having my people look into it. I have more information, I promise. You know what kind of person Mora is? Her father's downfall was because I exposed him. She'd take any chance to get back at me. Let's not fall into her trap.
Fine. Let's have dinner.
Even though it's my first time cooking, I tasted everything and it's not that bad.
If you didn't do anything wrong, then what's all this?
Mora's baby isn't mine. I'm certain of that. But I did promise you dinner. Anyway, if I had feelings for Mora, we'd be married with kids by now.
I know. I won't let Mora get to me that easily moving forward.
Chloe, I just want to be with you and raise our kids together. I missed 3 years of their lives. I'm not gonna miss anymore.
I know. Shall we eat?
Sure.
So you deliberately sent me the wrong message today, didn't you? Mora, I'm messaging you now to tell you your little scheme didn't work.
Oh, really? How did Ethan smooth things over with you?
I believe he didn't touch you. He doesn't even like you, so how could he have gotten you pregnant?
Chloe, don't go. Didn't we agree last night? Why are you leaving?
I'm going on a business trip. I'll be back when it's done.
Man, guilty conscience really gets you. I thought you were leaving.
Didn't you say you had somebody to investigate? Hopefully by the time I'm back, you'll have answers.
How long will you be gone?
I'll be back by your grandmother's surgery.
Alright, then. I'll try to have everything figured out by then. Chloe, I know you're still bothered by what's going on with Mora. Anything I say now probably sounds like an excuse. But I promise I will find the truth. In the meantime, if anything comes up, promise me you will tell me right away.
Okay. I'll let you know. I love you.
I love you too.
Shelly said Chloe doesn't really need to go on this business trip, but she's insisting on it. Feels like she's avoiding something.
She must have had a fight with Ethan.
Ethan might be rich, but he's not as mature and stable as you are. If I were Chloe, I would definitely choose you.
Chloe is still young. She doesn't really know what she wants. But it's okay. After the surgery, I will take her away from here.
Do you think she'll go with you?
I have my ways to make sure she does.
Chloe is no match for me. You want to know why she went on that business trip? Because I pissed her off.
Mora, do you think there's still a chance between you and Ethan?
I hate him now. Unless he comes back crawling, I'm done.
So what's your plan?
Once I'm back on my feet, I'm going back to work. I already talked with Hudson Corporation boss. He said I can start whatever I want.
Boss, I got in touch with one of Mora's old friends. We managed to get her to mention Hudson Corp's boss.
Hudson Corp? Who's the boss there?
Hunter Hughes. The guy's a greaseball. Want me to set up a meeting so you two can talk in person?
Mr. West, I gotta say, it's an honor that you'd invite me to lunch. But, what do you need from me? Is there something I'm missing?
Just because we don't collaborate now doesn't mean we won't in the future. I wanted to meet today to make friends.
Well, if you want to be friends, I'm all for it. As a matter of fact, lunch is on me.
It's okay. I'll take care of the bill. Mr. Hughes, I was hoping to ask some personal matters, if that's all right.
Yours or mine?
Yours.
Well, you're not going to ask me about Maura now, are you? As I recall, she was your girlfriend.
That's right. Has she been in touch with you?
Sure has. You're not thinking about getting back with her now, are you? I mean, she's an exciting woman.
When did Maura excite you? Did you use protection?
A while back. Can't remember exactly when, but, didn't use protection. Never do.
Got it. Thank you for letting me know. I have no plan on getting back with Maura. By the way, Mr. Hughes, I have a good news and a bad news. The good news is she was pregnant with your baby. The bad news is she terminated the pregnancy.
Mr. Hugh, your assistant asked me to wait here. She said he wanted to speak with me. I came right after I got the call. Did you had some drinks at lunch? How about I make you some tea?
Maura, were you pregnant with my child?
Who did you have lunch with? Ethan?
Do you think I'm some kind of fool? You were pregnant with my kid and you went and ran off to Easton? He gave you 10 million for an abortion?
It wasn't all about the money. I was trying to restore my dad's reputation. I didn't mean to disrespect you. Please.
So, you were pregnant with my kid all along.
Yes. Yes, it was yours.
Mr. West, you heard all of that, didn't you?
I'll treat you to dinner soon.
Ethan! After everything we've been through, do you really have to ruin me completely? Hunter won't speak with me.
You lying, malicious woman. Everything's happening to you is your own karma.
You're not going to ask about 10 million back, are you?
My lawyers will be in touch. You remember your friend Ruby? Well, you can join your bestie in prison.
Hello?
Chloe, I've cleared everything up. I sent you a recording. Listen to it and you'll understand everything happened.
You figured it out already?
Yeah. Maura's child isn't mine. She tried to stock $10 million from me. I handed everything to the lawyers. She might go to jail and you'll get your revenge.
I didn't expect to avenge my mother like this.
The process doesn't matter as long as we get the result we want.
Ethan, I owe you an apology. After all this happened, I doubted you and I got angry. I didn't trust you enough, and I'm sorry for that.
The fact that you were upset shows that you care about me. You don't have to apologize.
If I were in your shoes,
I'll be mad too. When are you coming back, though?
In a couple of days. I just need to finish the job here and then I'll head back.
All right. I'll be waiting for you.
Will you still cook for me when I'm back?
Just let me know when you arrive, and I'll have dinner ready for you.
Deal.
Chloe, you must not have been eating well on your business trip. You've lost weight. I asked Ethan to bring you over so we could have a chat over dinner. Chloe, you and Ethan are at the perfect age for marriage. And you have such a beautiful twins together. Why not tie the knot this year? I'll even help you plan the wedding.
Mrs. West, I was planning to discuss this with Ethan after his grandmother's surgery, but since you brought it up, I've been in love with Ethan for a very long time. Since 4 years, actually. And I still love him. I'd be more than happy to marry him. Patrick, I got you a little something for my business trip.
You look well. Did you and Ethan make up? My parents took Andy and Nina out for some fun. They know you've been spending a lot of time with Ethan lately, and they're afraid they won't get to see kids as much anymore. So they want to make some memories before things change.
Even if I am with Ethan, you can come see the kids anytime you want. You're like an uncle to them.
Seems like you two are talking about marriage.
Patrick.
My work won't be affected by my personal life. Even if you tell me right now that you married Ethan, I'd still perform surgery tomorrow.
I do plan on marrying him.
Right. Is it because of kids?
No. I love him.
Love. Love is pretty superficial thing. For relationship to last, it takes more than that.
I don't think he's gonna hurt me like that anymore. I'm willing to give it a chance.
If you set your mind on marrying him, I can't stop you.
I'm sorry. How do I look?
Amazing. Makes me want to marry you immediately.
You know, other than doing the ceremony, we're pretty much married already.
It'd be perfect if the kids were here with us.
I miss them too. But once they're back from their trip, I'll bring them home. And from now on, the four of us won't be apart.
Absolutely. Dr. Patrick, thank you for performing my grandmother's surgery as promised. Here's the compensation I owe you. Chloe and I are planning our wedding on October 1st. I hope you'll come.
Well, we'll see.
Everything will be alright.
Grandma! Are you awake? Do you recognize me? Can you speak?
Ethan, it's you.
It's been so long since I've heard you say my name.
I will get the doctor.
Yes.
Ethan, who was that? I don't think I've met her before.
Grandma, that's Chloe. I'm going to marry her. She gave me 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl.
Oh, that's wonderful. Where are the kids?
Excuse me. Have you seen Dr. Patrick?
Dr. Patrick has left. He only handles surgeries. We'll be taking care of Mrs. West post-operative care.
Dad, Chloe and I need to swing to Patrick's place.
Sure thing. And you two should hurry up and bring the kids back. I'm grateful to Dr. Patrick, but he can't just keep our grandkids forever.
Mr. West, Patrick is not like that. We'll go talk to him.
All right then. You kids go ahead.
Is Patrick home? Mr. Hale left a few days ago. He said if you stopped by, I should give you this.
This is the check I gave to Patrick.
Chloe, I am in Europe. The kids are with me. I won't hand them over to Ethan. If you want the kids, come find me here.
He's a jerk. Using our kids to threaten you? Chloe, you can do what he says.
What about our children? I can't just abandon them.
We're not going to abandon them. Patrick kidnapped our kids to get to you. If you go to Europe, he will kidnap you too.
Ethan, he won't hurt me.
You don't really know him. I do. I'll go to Europe and I'll bring our kids back.
Let me go with you.
No way. You stay here and wait for Michael. Patrick, Chloe always told me you're a good person. You saved her, helped her a lot, even raised our kids. I'm grateful for that. You can name your price and I'll do my best to meet it.
Do you know why she doesn't marry me? It's not because she doesn't love me. It's because she's infertile. She was afraid I'd regret it later. Afraid that my parents won't accept her. I don't want kids. But you do, don't you? I can give you the kids back if you give me Chloe.
Do you think Chloe's some kind of bargaining chip? She chose to be with me.
Are you sure she chose you? You're as manipulative as me.
I didn't manipulate her. Patrick, you've been together for 4 years and didn't marry. That means she never want to marry you. Her infertility is just a polite excuse.
So you think you can just pay me off and take off the kids?
It's just a compensation of appreciation for taking care of them all these years.
If we can't make an agreement, then there is nothing more to discuss. Kids are happy with me.
Let me see them.
You can, but you can't take them.
Let me see them first.
Fine. Chloe, marry me. Otherwise, Ethan will never return home.
Patrick, please don't hurt him. I'm coming to Europe.
Chloe, did you bring all the documents?
Yes. Is Ethan okay?
Don't worry. I haven't harmed him. Once we get married, I will let him go.
Ethan, I'm sorry. I'm going to marry Patrick. Only then can you and our kids safely return home.
What's going on?
Boss, Eason escaped with the kids. He had help, and they were armed. We couldn't stop them.
Is everything alright?
Yeah, all is good. Let's get our marriage license.
Patrick, I want to make sure that Eason's safe. Can I video call him?
But there is no reception at the villa.
Oh, so we can pass by before we go.
Chloe, trust me. He's fine. Once we get our marriage, I will take back to you.
This is a simple request, Patrick. Are you afraid that Eason escaped?
Chloe, I rescued the kids. We're at the airport, about to board. Wait for us at home.
Eason just texted me. He already left with the kids. Why did you lie to me?
Chloe, I will give you everything. Please, don't leave me.
I love Eason, Patrick.
Eason West, do you take Chloe Hartman to be your wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, and forsaking all others? Be faithful to her, as long as you both shall live.
I do.
Chloe Hartman, do you take Eason West to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, forsaking all others? Be faithful to him, as long as you both shall live?
I do. I'm doing my best, but it gets hard being without you. Being without you. I would walk a million lonely miles to look you in the eye, have you here by my side.